Well, if you can't keep it in the budget, you may as well keep it in the family. Viva Frei, Montreal litigator turned YouTuber. We are on day 5 of our road trip. I've got a sleeping kid in the back again, so I'm going to make use of this hour of peace and quiet. Getting back to some Canadian vlog material, Justin Trudeau, our Prime Minister, is back in hot water yet again for another accusation of violations of ethics. Now, for those of you who don't know, Canada has a law called the Conflict of Interest Act, which governs federal employees, and we'll get back to that a bit later in this vlog. But if these latest accusations against Justin Trudeau turn out to be yet another bona fide breach, this will be the 3rd time Justin Trudeau will be found guilty of ethics violations in virtue of this act. For those of you who may be too young to remember, back in 2017, Justin Trudeau was found guilty of a conflict of interest in that he took 2 all-expense-paid vacations to the private island of Aga Khan. And for those of you who may not know who Aga Khan is, Global News describes him as follows. The Aga Khan, the hereditary spiritual leader of the world's approximately 15 million Ismaili Muslims and a renowned philanthropist, is a board member of the Aga Khan Foundation. While the Aga Khan himself is not a registered lobbyist, the foundation is registered to lobby the House of Commons and, according to records, received more than $47 million from the federal government in 2016. It has also received funds from Global Affairs Canada for various humanitarian projects in the developing world, according to Charity Intelligence Canada. The same site notes the foundation will be receiving $55 million from 2016 to 2020 for Global Affairs Health Action Plan for Afghanistan project. So while Justin Trudeau and his family were being gifted tens of thousands of dollars in all-expense-paid vacations to Aga Khan's private island, the Aga Khan Foundation was being given tens of millions of dollars of taxpayer dollars from the federal government. Justin Trudeau was found to have violated the terms of the Conflict of Interest Act. He, true to form, apologized. And life went on as usual until his second violation in the context of the SNC-Lavalin scandal. Now, I did a few videos breaking down and explaining the SNC-Lavalin scandal. I even did a video where I broke down and explained the actual ethics report that detailed in great detail how Justin Trudeau breached the terms of the Conflict of Interest Act and yet again committed another ethics violation. If you haven't seen those videos, I'm gonna link them right here. Trust me when I say it, the scandal was scandalous. And here we are yet again, Groundhog Day, the Canadian politics version. Justin Trudeau is yet again embroiled in another scandal and another violation of the Conflict of Interest Act as relates to the We Charity scandal. And what is the scandal in a nutshell? Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is being investigated for the 3rd time by the Ethics Commissioner. This after breaking the law, the Conflict of Interest Act, the previous 2 times in the Aga Khan and SNC-Lavalin controversies. This time, Commissioner Mario Dion is investigating Trudeau's role in approving a $912 million sole-source government contract to run a student volunteer program, including a nearly $20 million administrative fee to the We Charity, to which the Trudeau family has close ties. On Thursday, it was revealed that Trudeau's wife, Sophie, his mother, Margaret, and his brother, Alexandre, have together been paid a total of over $350,000 over the years to speak at various We events. In a nutshell, over the last 3 years, Trudeau's family, his wife, his brother, and his mother have been paid over $350,000 in speaking fees from a charity that, lo and behold, in 2020 gets a sole contract to run a $1 billion program and get paid $20 million to do it. I'm sure it's just a really awesome coincidence. Oh boy, you want to go in? Nothing like a nap to make a kid happy. I will be back in about 5 minutes. Alright, I'm back and I've got to wind this vlog up pretty quickly because if I leave my wife with the 3 kids for any extended period of time on vacation, it might be a short vacation. So Trudeau, after getting caught with his hand in the cookie jar yet again, true to form, or as I like to say, Trudeau form, apologizes for not recusing himself from discussions and voting on appointing that contract to that charity. And what exactly is Justin Trudeau apologizing for? Well, let's get into the terms of the Conflict of Interest Act to really understand. Conflict of Interest Act. Purpose of the Act. The purpose of this Act is to A. Establish clear conflict of interest and post-employment rules for public office holders. B. Minimize the possibility of conflicts arising between the private interests and public duties of public office holders and provide for the resolution of those conflicts in the public interest should they arise. C. Provide the Conflict of Interest and Ethics Commissioner with the mandate to determine the measures necessary to avoid conflicts of interest and to determine whether a contravention of this act has occurred. D. Encourage experienced and competent persons to seek and accept public office. And E. Facilitate interchange between the private and public sector. That is an overview of the purpose of the act. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty and 2 provisions in particular as relates to Justin Trudeau's 3rd accusations of ethics violations. 4. For the purposes of this act, a public office holder is in a conflict of interest when he or she exercises an official power, duty, or function that provides an opportunity to further his or her private interests or those of his or her relatives or friends or to improperly further another person's private interests. And 11. Gifts and other advantages, Section 11, first paragraph. No public office holder or member of his or her family shall accept any gift or other advantage, including from a trust, that might reasonably be seen to have been given to influence the public office holder in the exercise of an official power, duty, or function. The obvious accusation of conflict of interest here is that Justin Trudeau's family, his mother, his brother, and his wife have received over $350,000 over the last 3 or 4 years in speaking fees from a charity that, lo and behold, gets a contract to administer nearly $1 billion in government funds and get paid $20 million to do it. Oh, and did I mention it was a sole-sourced government contract? And sure enough, before you have any of these standard apologies, you have all of these standard denials, as in Justin Trudeau didn't know what his wife, brother, and mother were getting paid. You have We Charity saying, oh, we didn't pay them, it was our for-profit enterprise that actually paid them, which in fact turned out not to be the case. And let's just open a parenthesis to delve into that actual excuse that was given by We Charity. At one point, the We Charity said it wasn't We Charity that paid Justin's brother, mother, and wife, it was Me to We, the for-profit branch of the We Charity. And it is when you break down this corporate shell game that oftentimes gets played between not-for-profit and for-profit organizations that you realize what game is actually being played here. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter if it was in fact Me to We that paid Justin Trudeau's family members and not We Charity. As far as I'm concerned, it all comes to the same thing: corruption. And in the practice of law, you see these corporate shell games get played all the time. You have your not-for-profit organization, you have your for-profit organization, which are owned and controlled by the same people, and lo and behold, they seem to enter into contracts between one another. According to Charity Intelligence Canada, there is indeed some confusion between the We Charity and Me to We for-profit organization. There is donor confusion about the blurred lines between We Charity and Me to We. Collectively, these two distinct organizations are referred to as We, or We Organization, or We Movement. Me to We is an affiliated social enterprise for-profit private corporation controlled by Craig and Mark Kilberger, We Charity's co-founders. Where We Charity was co-founded in 1995, Me to We started up in 2004. Me to We's CEO is Roxanne Joyle, Mark Kilberger's wife. We Charity's CFO is also Me to We's CFO. And here is the kicker. We Charity buys promotional goods and travel services from Me to We. In F 2019, We Charity paid Me to We $3.6 million for travel, leadership training services, and promotional goods. In F 2019, Me to We contributed $4.4 million to We Charity in donated time and services and cash. Me to We is also a corporate partner of We Days. So the not-for-profit We Charity buys goods and services off of the for-profit Me to We in the order of $4 million in 2019. If you can't keep it in the bank account, keep it in the family. There was some discussion or disagreement as to which entity actually paid the Trudeaus. Was it the We Charity? Was it Me to We? At the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. It is coming out of one and the same piggy bank. These types of corporate shell games are designed only to give the illusion of propriety to what otherwise would be extremely suspicious behavior. Oh, except for one accidental payment, it wasn't We Charity that paid the Trudeaus, it was Me to We, the for-profit organization, so there's nothing wrong with that, except in 2019, the We Charity paid Me to We $4 million in goods and services. And after years of loyal remuneration to the Trudeau family, lo and behold, we get appointed a sole-source government contract to administer nearly $1 billion and get paid $20 million to do it. Nothing to see here, folks. Move on. And Trudeau apologizes for not recusing himself from the discussions and decision to grant this contract. As far as I'm concerned, that is a red herring. Trudeau didn't even have to vote on it in order for this to be pure corruption. And that is the insidious nature of true corruption. It does not need to be overtly stated. It's not like anyone said, here, Trudeau, here's $350,000 for your family members over the last few years. Now you know what to do when it comes time to vote on this particular contract. Trudeau did not specifically need to vote on this contract in order for the administration to know what to do. They all knew because they all had their hands in the cookie jar, including Bill Morneau, our Minister of Finance. PM Trudeau. Morneau should not have accepted gifts from We Charity. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says Finance Minister Bill Morneau should, quote, not have accepted, end quote, the gifted portion of his family's trips with We Charity. Trudeau is probably kicking himself because he recognizes that there was absolutely no need for him to even participate in those discussions. The administration knew what to do. That is what true corruption is. They were all in on it. They were all receiving gifts in one form or another. They knew what to do when that time came around to vote on that particular contract. And the ultimate kick in the teeth, as with the Aga Khan scandal and the SNC-Lavalin scandal, is that there will be no sanctions for this one either, because the Conflict of Interest Act really doesn't have any power to impose meaningful penalties. The Conflict of Interest Act is not a criminal law. It doesn't impose any meaningful penalties. There are only nominal monetary penalties for not respecting certain deadlines or disclosures or orders in the context of investigations, but it does not impose any meaningful sanctions, and it does not empower the commissioner to impose any meaningful sanctions. It is basically a law without any teeth whatsoever. And the ultimate outcome, there will be an investigation, there will be another report drafted that will cost taxpayers millions of dollars, and yet again, at the end of the day, nothing is going to happen. We're going to get a number of vapid, meaningless apologies, and political life will go on for the political elite. All right, and I'm yet again working myself up into a sweat. I see that my camera is about to go dead, and if I don't get back to the hotel, well, there will be other problems to live with. So with that said, if you like my videos, you like my content, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and drop a comment in the comment section below because it feeds the algorithm. If you want to support the channel, all of these support links are in the pinned comment. We've got PayPal, Subscribestar, Patreon, YouTube membership, merch. If anybody, can't get my finger, if anybody wants some merch, we've got a lot of merch and miscellaneous stuff. But more important than that, take care of yourselves, check in on friends and family, and make sure everyone around you is doing well. And with that said, now you know you vlog. Peace out.